Right, this is day 2 of bodywork in this video. I've been thinking and debating on what's best to do, because this cut edges are quite sharp, so I kind of want to coat the edges in something, and I've been thinking about it at work, what to use. I could use araldite, like a glue or something, thinking maybe use some araldite, or perhaps I'll go with a hot glue gun, because once you've mixed your araldite, you've got to use it up pretty quickly, unless you have the longer set stuff, and then all of these edges are going to be covered in some glue that's not going to go off, whereas the glue gun is sort of sitting there readily available, and it doesn't take long to go off, although it is a bit messy. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get the car on the table, and as you can see with this particular body panel, I've kind of already sort of fitted it. That's what's great about this meshy stuff, is it's quite flexible, and you can go around you can stretch it in your bends. So that's going in there like that. I'll try and get it to sit there, but as you can see, this part here actually comes out, juts out. So I want it to take the shape of the car, and once I've gotten it to take the shape of the car, I want to just check that there's not sort of extra overlap on it. You know, I don't want it sort of sticking up anywhere. So once I've got it settled there, I trim off any little bits and make sure I've got it sort of set for the shape, and lay them out, and then I'm going to glue gun them. So we'll go into that now. Now then, I don't know how this is going to pan out. Could be very frustrating, I don't know. Do apologise for the noise in the background. That one. Yeah, noise in the background. Well, people have got to do what they do in their working, aren't they? So I'm going to clean these down with a bit of thinners, because they're a bit sticky still. Probably something highly toxic, I don't know. But don't think it's going to bode well for when the paint goes on. And of course, I don't want to clean them. I don't know if that glue gun glue will coat with thinners, so I'll clean them now. Lovely thinners in your cuts, just to make sure you're awake. For anybody that watches my other videos, the kite ones and the motorbike ones, and they've been following the slabby rebuild series, and I haven't done anything with the slabby for a little while, because I've kind of come to a halt. I'm a bit stuck, to be honest. I've got problems with running, which is exactly the opposite to what I wanted to do. So if you remember on that, I felt that perhaps I'll get it running, get an MOT on it, and then just sort of for peace of mind run it and know that it works, and then I'll just pick away at making it look nice, and after having felt better because it was running good, you know. But it had the opposite effect, because for some reason I just couldn't get it to run properly. God, it's doing my head in. So while I'm mulling that one over, that's kind of a bit on hold. I will do a little slabby update to explain that. I thought I might as well mention it now while I'm doing this. I hope this works. Another thing that's worth talking about is, you know, obviously I work like a lot of people do, and I do my best to do these videos, but it's time consuming, you know. like I enjoy doing them, and that's why I do them. If I didn't enjoy doing them, I wouldn't do them. So let's get that straight. It's not like I'm referring to them as a chore or anything. I do enjoy doing them. So, but I have a little spells where I haven't got any work lined up, and then I'll have like 1 or 2, maybe 3 days when I'm just sort of doing things. And what I get to do with that is film the footage in the first place. So there's a process, as many YouTubers will understand. You got to film the footage in the first place, and you got to film good footage too. Maybe I'm not quite so good at that, but you got to get the footage to start with. So it's playtime basically. Got to get out and have the playtime, and then you got to get the footage of that playtime, which can be tricky when you're doing something like building a bike or flying my kite buggies and that. Especially when you're racing. If you're doing a racing and you've got other things to stress about, and you're running a camera and trying to make sure that your batteries are charged, your mounts are all good, the cameras are mounted in a good position where it's going to pick up some footage which is, you know, worth looking at. Which is why I don't do many surfing videos, because I just can't seem to do very good surfing footage. So once you've gathered all your footage then, and it comes down to editing and going through it, and I might edit like 3 hours worth of footage and come up with a half an hour video, and that'll take me, I don't know what it takes other people, but that half an hour video can take anything up to like 10 hours to edit by the time you've faffed around cutting out, figuring out what's good, what's bad, what's boring, putting the music on and blah blah blah, and then getting the video edited and out to be viewed, you know. So I'm doing that the best way I know how at the moment, with the time that I've got. Sometimes I have more time than others. It's a shame really, because I get busy into work, and obviously I've gotten something going like this little build for instance, and then it takes a backbench and people end up wondering, well, where's the next video, you know. Fortunately I got the afternoon off here today, so I can do this, and that's not even tying up other hobbies, you know. I do like my hobbies. Life's full of about experience. I don't live to work, as they say. I like to work to live, and I enjoy my little hobbies and my interests, you know, and I'll do what I can to do them. They're not big things. It's not like I'm going around the world or anything, or funding like aeroplanes to jump out of or anything like that. They're all local things that I enjoy doing, that are reasonable money to achieve. So life's what you make it, isn't it, you know. I've just realised I've turned on that glue gun, and that's sitting there boiling away all over my bench here, into all the hot glue into the thinners. I'll put that over there to evaporate. Right, this will evaporate away in a minute, hopefully. Dry my hands so I can have a feel and see if these are sort of less sticky than they were. Yeah, that's loads better. It's obviously like greasy stuff. Let's let this all dry out a minute, and then we'll get the glue gun and we'll start sort of trying to put a glue bead along the outer edges here to kind of encase these sharp edges. Alright, let's give it a whirl. I don't know how this is going to go, so I think we'll start with a simple piece that I can replace easy if I want to. Oh, it's full of disturbances here today. Well, that's worked. I'll tell you what, that was getting hot in my fingers when I was doing that. It was like, gotta finish it, gotta finish it. So I can sort of stipple it on here. It seems to be working pretty good. Well, I'd say it was a success, really. While I was doing that, I was thinking, well, how else would I do it? And the only thing I could think of would be like inner tube glue, that rubberoid inner tube glue. But that seems alright, it's got it. I don't know as if it's going to pull off easy because it's sort of sharp, so it grips the glue pretty good. You can handle it, it's not spiking you anymore. And of course it's flexible too, so yeah, I think it'll do. Alright, welcome back. And here we have my body panels all laid out as if it's a motocross sheet of body decals or something like that. I'm quite pleased with how these have turned out. The glue seems to have done its job, although it is pretty now that it's highlighted by the green, it's not very tidy, but these edges are kind of sitting in behind the body frame rails of the car. Now I picked that colour because it was pretty close to the green cable ties that I've got, these little mini cable ties. This is an old one that's cut up for attaching them, but thinking about it, I've also got the black ones, which are the ones that I'm going to use, because the body panels are going to sit inside the frame rails and then the cable tie is going to loop around the outside, so it'll be the black that's being shown on the frame rail, whereas if I do the green one, then you're going to get a green loop which will show up, which is probably alright. But the main deciding factor was the fact that I can't find my stash of green ones anyway, so that sort of decides that one, doesn't it? But I'm quite excited to see what this looks like. Green on black. I like green on black, I think it's a good contrast. And so I'm going to take you through this as I put these body panels on. I'm really hoping that these cable ties, I haven't looked at it yet, fit through the webbing of this mesh without too much trouble. Just like that. Oh yeah, a little bit of binding there, but that's okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go through this now. I think we'll start from the front and see if I can't remember which bits go where. I think I obviously do. Look at it, check that out. So let me know what you think of the colour choice. I did toy with going with a burnt orange. My girlfriend loves a burnt orange with black, and I actually quite like it too, especially being as all the accents on these metal parts are orange. And also I thought about going with a Monza blue, because that's one of my favourite colours. This is actually going to be quite tricky, I reckon. mainly because everything's quite small, and with little fiddly things I'm struggling with that recently. Yeah, see that black cable tie goes relatively unnoticed there. Yeah, I've had a fair few of my friends and family saying that they've been enjoying the videos, and that's just fantastic. I'm glad that they enjoy the videos, because it's just nice to hear it. A lot of the time I make some things and I just think, oh God, you know, is it interesting enough for anybody? Does it matter if it's interesting enough for anybody? Because they are, you know, just things that I'm going to do anyway. Some of these I'm going to snip off as I go, because I think they'll be a bit awkward to get to later. So as far as this build goes, this is kind of the last in the video for the basic build. What I mean by that is they're building it with more or less the bits and pieces that I've got to do it with, without buying aftermarket parts. Like I've already mentioned that I'm probably going to replace the shocks for some better ones, although I am interested to see how it runs with the shocks that are already on it. I have changed the ESC for another one. I think anybody who's had any dealings with these cars knows what the standard ESC goes like, you know, kind of no thrills, no special. You get your forwards and your backwards, and as far as drag brake and all that is concerned, it's all very basic. It just does, it works, but there's nothing fine-tunable about it. Well, the ESC that I fitted in it, which was the original one from my Vitera Ascender, isn't really all that much fancier, other than the fact that I think it just handles lipo power a little bit better, and I do believe that the drag brake is a little bit more usable. So I'm sort of doing a final bend around with these panels as I go. I think that's going to be okay there. The nice thing about the panels being inside the chassis is they're not, hopefully not going to get hit or damaged by anything anyway, because this stuff's very flimsy, quite, you know, very lightweight and flimsy. It wouldn't take much to damage it if it rolled over, but I think in the places that I've got it fitted, there's not going to be that much chance for it to be hit by anything, unless it get like a twig or a pointy rock punctures through, and then you just put it down to battle scars really. And I do like to drive my vehicles, my trucks and the cars and stuff. That's what it's all about. Obviously I don't want to break my stuff all the time, but I'm not going to not use them for what they're made for just because I don't want to break them. So I think once we've gotten this bodywork fitted, then we're going to have a look around it, see what we think. Of course I will be doing a video showcasing it, driving around in its current form, see how it performs. We don't know how this chassis is going to drive. I'm eager to see how it drives in comparison to my other trucks, and also not to put John in the too much in the limelight as a comparison, but he's got his little Maverick Scout built truck, and this is, although it is actually, what did Matey call it? A Pagona. I did put it in the last video. I did memorise it, but I can't remember what it was now. Yeah, see what they compare like. Pangolin, HSP Pangolin. Again, thanks to Wacky RC for pointing that one out to me. Ideal, mate. Yeah, he took an immediate interest in it because he runs a HSP Pangolin. I've had one or two other people comment saying that they were interested to see how this turned out, because they had been toying with doing the same thing themselves. Whether they wanted to use exactly the same chassis or not, I don't know, but because there are other slightly different style ones out there. Funny, because somebody suggested me to do this a rock bouncer crawler type body, and I was like, nah. And then I went for the most extreme one I could see, in actual fact, because I felt that they were like, it was a bit too busy. I already was like, oh my god, how am I going to get the gearbox in there, as you saw in one of the other videos, you know, because to work on them is a bit, got to get in amongst the chassis rails, and I didn't know if that was going to be a blooming pain in the backside. Well, I might take the opportunity to say hello to my Uncle Marshall and his wonderful partner Sandra. Hope you're enjoying the videos. I know you are, because you've already said it, but you know, now you're famous, you're on TV. That's funny. Oh, it's getting there, people. Look at that. Huh? I mean, it ain't perfect, but I tell you what, I think it looks wicked. Yeah, I'm loving that. I'm pleased with it already so far. Well, there we go, look. That was a task and a half, but I think it was worth it. is, guys. I think that's sort of the end of that initial build process. I'm quite pleased with it. It looks pretty cool. I like the colours. I'm glad I went with those colours. I've always liked that green and black, as I said before. I'm really keen to see what it looks like out on the trail, so that'll be the next step to get it out. Film a little cinematic sequence for you guys to have a look at it in action, see how it drives. And but until then, thank you very much for watching. Hit the like and subscribe, share it, do whatever you want, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.